Many people here in Tel Aviv probably haven't even heard the news. The bars are very busy. This is the busiest night of the weekend, of the Israeli weekend, if you like, Thursday night. But we have heard within the last hour or so that the Israeli military has been given that authorization for a ground offensive. Colleagues in Gaza are telling us that they've seen Israeli commandos on the beach in Gaza, supported by Israeli Defence Force troops. Now, the Prime Minister's office, Benjamin Netanyahu, has made it plain that there is a specific objective of this ground offensive. Clearly, this is a major escalation of this 10-day conflict, but that the specific objective is to target tunnels which militants from Gaza have been using to try and enter Israeli territory. A number, we believe 13 heavily armed gunmen tried to make it across into Israel to attack a kibbutz this morning at 4:30 a.m. We were down in that area south of the Gaza Strip this morning. There was a massive build-up of Israeli military there in armour, in tanks, armoured personnel carriers. They, it seems, are now being backed by the Israeli Air Force, and a considerable naval operation as this ground offensive in Gaza is underway.
There's been criticism already from Egypt, particularly of Hamas, that this is now happening, because the feeling is from Cairo that they could have saved many lives had they given the Egyptian proposal for a truce some chance to work.
Let's remember, Egypt is no friend of Hamas. And also, let's remember, neither is Israel. And Israel and Egypt are both saying that they were very close to a ceasefire agreement today. In fact, we believed at one point that a ceasefire agreement was all but done. So Israel and Egypt are blaming Hamas for failing to sign up to a ceasefire deal which they concocted, which they came up with. It's in their interest to say that, of course, but considerable effort was taking place in Cairo with representatives from Hamas, representatives from Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and representatives from Israel, and indeed Egypt was mediating that to try and bring about this ceasefire. And the reason they're trying to bring about this ceasefire is because well over 200 people have been killed in this 10-day offensive so far. All of them, apart from one individual, have been Palestinians, and many of them have been Palestinian women, children and the elderly. So there was a great desire to try and mediate this conflict. Egypt has played that role in the past successfully. It helped broker previous ceasefires in Gaza in 2012, and of course it hasn't been able to do that on this occasion. Part of the reason Hamas would argue it hasn't been able to do that on this occasion is because it isn't a supporter of Hamas in the way that the previous Egyptian government was, and wasn't able to play a fair and honest role in that mediation between Hamas militants and Israel.